Alright, this is my review of the Smith & Wesson SD40VE. Smith & Wesson, of course, is from Springfield, Massachusetts, an American-made gun. The SD stands for self-defense, 40 is the caliber of the weapon, and VE is for value enhanced. This gun, I picked it up for $350 brand new. After tax, I think it was about $375 or so. It's a decent gun out of the box. There were three main things that I didn't like, but they're very minor things. The factory sights were polymer, and they were 3-dot. I've since replaced those with the True Glow tritium fiber optic sights. Let's see if we can get a good view there. Probably not. I managed to pick these up on Amazon for about $54. Had them installed by a gunsmith for around $25. If you're not a gunsmith, I don't recommend doing something like that yourself. These fiber optics can be severely damaged. The other thing I replaced was the polymer guide rod. I went with a stainless steel guide rod. Let's see if we can break this down. Breaks down just very similar to a Glock. And by the way, I'm no gun expert, just an everyday guy. Most of what I've learned is off the internet, thanks to guys like Yankee Marshall, Hickok 45. This is the stainless steel guide rod here. Of course, the barrel. The other thing that I replaced on it was it came with a factory polymer rear slide plate. I got a billet aluminum one with one of my favorite scriptures on it, for those of you who follow the Christian faith. Get this back together here. Breaks down and goes back together real simple. Just like so. I don't think I went over that trigger. The trigger, you know, I've thought about going to an Apex trigger, because this trigger is kind of heavy. It's about an 8.5 pound pull, I believe. Give you a demonstration here. And then for the reset, right about there. Barely hear that click though. I was thinking about going with an Apex trigger, but after watching a few videos from guys like Yankee Marshall and Hickok 45, I decided I didn't want to deal with the legalities of it. This is my everyday carry weapon, and if I ever have to defend myself, I don't want those kind of modifications to come into play in a court of law. I did buy an extra magazine. It comes factory with 2 magazines. I bought an extra one for around $40. One of the common complaints with the magazine, of course, is that rattle. I hear this often when I'm walking. It's not too bad. I mean, the only people who are going to recognize that sound are probably other people who carry this particular sidearm. One of the first mistakes I made, you know, I paid $350 for this gun and went out and bought a cheap Uncle Mike holster for, you know, 20 bucks or so. It was a comfortable holster, but it had absolutely no retention to it at all. I managed to pick up a Kydex holster online on Amazon. I do most of my shopping for parts and such on Amazon. This isn't the most comfortable holster in the world. It's got really good retention. It does have a retention screw, so that is adjustable. You know, that's it's a pretty good amount of force I'm putting on there, and you know, it's not coming out just rattling. You got to really want to pull this out. You know, it's not going to fall out. The other thing I want to go over about this weapon is it does not have any manual safety, and at first that kind of turned me off to it. Every handgun I've had before had a manual safety. I feel comfortable with this gun though. It has several internal safeties. You know, the trigger being such a heavy pull that I'm not concerned about negligent discharges. That's a tough word to say. All in all, this is a good gun for the price. There's definitely better guns out there. This is what I like to refer to as the common man's pistol. Um, you know, I'd say it's far better than, say, a High Point. Uh, just as good, if not better, than a Springfield XD. It's pretty much modeled after the Glock 19. I know there's a lot of Glock fans out there. I'm not really one of them. Not that there's anything wrong with Glocks. I think they're a bit overrated. The one thing I didn't like about them, my hands aren't that big. I've got pretty common, ordinary hands, and the ergonomics of the Glock, I could not get a good grip on that weapon, and it seemed like whenever I fired a Glock, it was just all over the place. Uh, this firearm has very good ergonomics. It fits my hand really well. Um, it shoots very true. You know, where I put the sights, that's where the bullet goes, and that's very important in a firearm. I mean, anybody will tell you that. Doesn't take a genius, and trust me, I am no genius. Um, I was going to show you the sights, see how much they glow, but I don't think it's going to show up here with the light out. Let's see here. You can barely see it, but trust me, it is a lot brighter in person. The camera just doesn't do it justice. I would definitely recommend these sights. True Glow isn't up there with, say, Trijicon, but I've done some comparisons, and in my opinion, these have a much higher glow than Trigicon's sights from what I have seen. I could be wrong. If any of you have any comments or suggestions or even corrections, feel free to leave them in the comment box there. You know, I'd appreciate it if you kept your negativity down. This is my first gun review video. But you know, if I stated something incorrectly and you have facts to back it up, please feel free. But I don't want, you know, these Glock fanboys coming on here saying, oh no, the Glock is the best gun in the world. Well, you know, it may be the best gun in the world for you, but it's not for me. All in all, this is the best gun for me right now that I can afford, and I'm happy with it. There's definitely better guns out there. You know, I'd love to get a hold of a Springfield, or I'm sorry, a SIG P320. I don't know why I was thinking Springfield. I probably saw that and subconsciously read it out loud. To me, you know, there I go again, a SIG P320 is my desired weapon at this point. You know, that would be what I would want to replace this with. Oh, one other thing I wanted to go over is my ammo selection. Take out the first 3 rounds here. I stagger my rounds. It's just a personal preference for me. I use the Critical Duty Federal Hydra Shock. Let's get a good shot of that tungsten ramp, or that tungsten rod down in there, if it'll do it some justice. Maybe not. And the G2 Rip Round all copper. I find these to be very good self-defense rounds. The other thing I've noticed is that last round going into these magazines is a bit rough. I put the wrong one in there. I like to keep my load order the same. We'll put the Critical Duty in, followed by the Hydra Shock. And when these magazines are brand new, that spring, it needs to be compressed a lot before you can get that last 14th round in there. It kind of gets to be a bit of a pain getting that in there. Plus, trying to do this on camera ain't making it any easier. There we go. Whoops, not quite. This is the brand new magazine. There we go. And that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll have a review of a SIG P320 for you soon. Bye!